Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something pretty ambitious. We are taking a highly structured, fast-paced journey through one of the richest, most complex cultural traditions on planet Earth. We'll be tracing the epic timeline of India, moving all the way from its ancient roots to the vibrant global powerhouse it is today.
To really wrap our heads around this, imagine a civilization with a continuous history spanning over 5,000 years. Just let the sheer scale of that sink in for a second. We're talking about a culture that fundamentally altered the course of human history. I mean, they gave the world the mathematical concept of zero, the globally transformative practice of yoga, and frankly, some of the most enduring architecture ever built.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to navigate this massive history by breaking it down into 5 distinct eras: ancient roots and innovations, empires and golden ages, medieval cultural blending, the British colonial era, and finally, independence and modern India.
Part 1. Ancient Roots and Innovations, the Foundations of Humanity.
Right off the bat, you see this rapid, profound progression. We kick off around 2500 BCE with the Indus Valley Civilization, move forward a millennium to 1500 BCE, and we hit the Vedic Age. Then, by the 6th century BCE, we witness the incredible intellectual and spiritual rise of Buddhism and Jainism. It's just wild how quickly we move from building physical infrastructure to constructing highly complex spiritual philosophies.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the surprising modernity of that earliest period. Flourishing in cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, they didn't just build settlements, they engineered them. We're talking incredibly advanced urban planning, sophisticated drainage systems that honestly rivaled much later historical periods, and thriving trade networks. They were literally among the absolute earliest true urban civilizations on the planet.
Moving along to 1500 BCE, we enter the Vedic Age. This period marks the arrival of Indo-Aryan communities who actually composed the Vedas. These are the oldest sacred texts of Hinduism, and they literally laid the structural bedrock for Indian religion, profound philosophical thought, and the complex social organization of the subcontinent for thousands of years to come. Fast forward to the 6th century BCE, and we get the simultaneous emergence of 2 major philosophical powerhouses. You have Siddhartha Gautama founding Buddhism, and Mahavira spreading the teachings of Jainism. And despite having distinct spiritual paths, both of these traditions shared foundational tenets rooted deeply in nonviolence, immense compassion, and a dedicated pursuit of spiritual growth.
Part 2. Empires and Golden Ages, Unification and Science.
So, the first major empire to unify a huge chunk of the subcontinent was the Maurya Empire. Its greatest ruler, Emperor Ashoka, initially expanded his territory through the notoriously brutal Kalinga War. But what followed was one of history's most dramatic personal transformations. Deeply affected by that conflict, Ashoka actually renounced violence entirely. He embraced Buddhism and spent the rest of his reign promoting peace, ethical governance, and a truly remarkable degree of religious tolerance across his vast kingdom.
A few centuries later, the Gupta Empire ushered in what is pretty much universally celebrated as India's Golden Age, stretching from the 4th to 6th centuries CE. Just look at the staggering achievements here. In mathematics, they pioneered the concept of zero and the decimal number system. In astronomy, they conducted highly advanced celestial studies, and they were pioneering ancient healing arts and medicine. Think about that for a second. The math and decimal systems you use every single day to navigate the modern world, they originated right here.
Part 3. Medieval Cultural Blending, a time of cultural fusion.
Starting in the 13th century, the Delhi Sultanate established Islamic rule over large parts of northern India. And this wasn't just a shift in political power, it was a massive cultural infusion. They introduced brand new administrative systems alongside these incredibly distinct artistic and architectural traditions that immediately began weaving into the rich, existing cultural fabric of the subcontinent. By the 16th century, the Mughal Empire emerged as one of India's most influential dynasties, expanding significantly under legendary rulers like Akbar. And this brilliantly illustrates a key theme of Indian history. See, Akbar didn't just conquer territory, he actively encouraged and formalized cultural harmony, deeply integrating diverse traditions to create a unified and dynamic society. This era of intentional harmony birthed what we call Indo-Islamic architecture. By definition, it's a magnificent, seamless fusion of Persian and Indian architectural styles. And honestly, there is absolutely no better, more globally recognized physical symbol of this cultural synthesis than the Taj Mahal, which was built during this exact era. It stands as a perfect monument to the blending of these immense cultural forces.
Part 4.
The British colonial era, a truly transformative period.
European traders first arrived on the subcontinent in the 16th century. However, the real turning point was the Battle of Plassey in 1757. From that moment, over the course of the 19th century, we witness a gradual historical shift from early European trade to total, sweeping political control over the subcontinent by the British East India Company.
The impacts of British colonial rule were highly complex and definitely dual-sided. On one hand, the period saw the introduction of massive railway networks, modern education systems, and sweeping administrative reforms. Concurrently, it was an era defined by severe economic exploitation and widespread hardship for the local populations. Naturally, taking this heavy toll steadily fueled a growing, deeply rooted resistance movement all across the country.
Part 5. Modern India. Independence and beyond.
In the early 20th century, the struggle for freedom found its defining voice in Mahatma Gandhi. He led a powerful independence movement, but what made his approach truly revolutionary was his method. It was based entirely on non-violent resistance, civil disobedience, and peaceful protest. This innovative, highly moral approach to pushing back against an empire fundamentally galvanized the Indian masses and, quite frankly, changed the course of global history.
The culmination of these massive efforts finally arrived on August 15, 1947, when India officially achieved independence. However, this historic, long-fought triumph came alongside profound tragedy. The subcontinent was partitioned into two newly independent nations, India and Pakistan. This sudden division resulted in one of the largest, most disruptive, and tragically violent mass migrations in human history.
So, the crucial point is how this ancient civilization, having weathered empires, colonialism, and a devastating partition, emerged into the present day. Today, modern India stands not just as a nation, but as an absolute titan. It is the world's largest democracy, boasting an unbelievable scale, and it remains one of the fastest-growing major economies on the globe.
When we look at India's modern achievements, it's just breathtaking. We're talking about cutting-edge advancements in science and technology, massive leaps in agriculture and medicine, and highly successful space exploration missions. And all of this is happening while actively preserving an extraordinary diversity of languages, religions, and cultures. It is the ultimate testament to a 5,000-year foundation built entirely on resilience and continuous innovation. Which leads us to a deeply fascinating question to close out this explainer. Looking at that immense historical foundation, how will India's incredible journey of resilience, innovation, and continuous cultural exchange continue to shape our world today and in the centuries to come? It's a massive question for the global stage. Thanks so much for exploring this history with me today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.